Hello, Lillian. It's Kyle here with your website review. And first of all, I just wanted to say thank you. And I've had an interesting time working with your site. Typically, I work with people who are all business oriented and they have a certain product or service they're trying to sell. And yours is almost the opposite, where you have a solid website and a passion, but almost not sure what you want to sell, or you don't have anything to sell in particular. Um, there's a few things I wanted to talk about today, but there's a few things also I wanted to mention that before we start. Now's a good time to sort of turn off your cell phone and take a little time to just focus in on this, and maybe you want to grab a notepad and take some notes and do some things like that that will prove to be just to help you take a little more action and get a little more clarity around what it is you want to do and what it is you want to see happen in regards to your website. So just going over to your site, I see you've put a lot of time and work into this, and I think you've done a great job. There's a lot of great content here, and quite honestly, I think it's quite entertaining. You have a great vehicle here, just from a business perspective. You have a great vehicle and a great site that the traffic that you mentioned that you're getting is a decent amount of traffic. But of course, we'd always like more traffic and more people viewing our site, so that's perfectly understandable. Um, Really, just a few concepts I wanted to talk about, and most importantly, is about expanding your focus or picking some sort of concept that will sort of orient and give your site some focus. Um, you have a lot of, like I said, you have a lot of great content, but when I come to your homepage, that's the what you call that first impression moment when somebody comes to your site, and it's very obvious that you're something about pigs, but is it something specific? And typically, people are looking for what that what that is, and this can be just a fan site. This can be just a site for people that enjoy pigs, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But you mentioned that you're having trouble breaking even with the site, or at least just covering your costs. So I think there's a few ways to make your site a little bit more action oriented or a little bit more focused. You mentioned that there was a charity that most of your proceeds or most of your effort goes towards, and I think that's a great place to start. You have a friendly concept, a fun concept, being the pigs, and the different things around that. And to me, that's a great way to just sort of be. It's lighthearted. It's fun. It really is just sort of a benevolent. That's the word that keeps coming to my mind. It's a benevolent concept, but the great thing about that is it can really be a vehicle for change or for community. And people are always looking for a good reason to get together and to have a community or have a certain belonging or a certain identity. And with your T-shirts and the different things on your websites, the comedy, the social media, especially these days. I see you have a strong Facebook following. Maybe you haven't utilized that in a lot of ways that you possibly could, but typically people want to be entertained. They want to be inspired and uplifted. They want to laugh. There's a lot of things like that your website and your content can provide people. And when you provide people with that sort of entertainment, when you provide them with quality content, there's a natural, it's a certain law of reciprocation. Reciprocating just being a fancy word for things coming back to you. When you put out goodwill and you put out high quality content, which as you do here in different entertainment, I was watching your YouTube channel and the events that you put on. There's a natural system of reciprocation where if you ask somebody for something, there's a great chance that they're going to reciprocate. And that can be a few different things. One, they can donate to a charity if that's your mission of your website, or the mission of your mission, so to speak, or the mission of your passion or your focus. But when I talk about making this a little more business oriented to sort of have that what I call a reciprocation engine. It's sort of you put things out and then you get things back, which are visitors, customers, income, revenue, donations, whatever that is for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a business venture, so to speak. But but I take your logo here, and it's obviously a very clever logo, and it looks like it's professionally done. If you designed it, fantastic, or whoever did it, they did a great job. Down here below your logo, this is typically where we see in business what we call a tagline. This is some sort of actionable or descriptive text that tells a little bit about what you do and so on. But again, it's just sort of comical, where you're not necessarily geared or motivated towards anything. So this is just more pigisms, I guess you would call it, and that's perfectly fine. But as we get into a more organized structure here, if this is something you want to do, this area, your tagline, is often important in a place to really explain what you're about and why you're doing this. Getting important on your why is an important thing too. You know, this really goes down into your values, what you think the world should be, or what your definition of the world, what would make the world a better place, and what can you do to help make that change. As Gandhi says, be the change you want to see in the world. You know, that's something where you have an opportunity here. Maybe this is something you didn't consciously plan out, but you certainly have the attention of quite a few people, and that's a great thing, and a powerful tool to have and to use for you know, the things that you think will be a benefit to your community, society, and the world at large. You know, not to get too high up on the soapbox, but you know, I just wanted to reinforce that you do really have a unique opportunity. I see a lot of people try to build websites that have strong followings, and they spend a lot of time. I don't know what they do, but they spend a lot of time trying to get popularity and trying to get people's attention. But you've naturally done it here with things you're just passionate about, and that's impressive. It's inspiring, and it's actually refreshing, believe it or not. But there's a few ways you can monetize your site, and you know, if you want to think, well, I don't really want to make money with a site, if that's something that is maybe something morally that you're not aligned with, or whatever that might be, monetization really, to me, would just be a different way to help cover your costs, and really just give you an opportunity to do more in the community if that's something you were interested in. If you have visitors coming to the website, if you have visitors and traffic coming to the Facebook page, you can have and send people to your website for various different reasons. And I see, as an example for monetization, you can always sell Google ad space. I'm sure you've been on a website where there's relevant Google ads in a box like right here, and it will say, toy pig collectibles, right? You know, customize your stuffed toy pig, like they do with the teddy bears. I'm sure there's great stuff out there that you can do, and what those are links. And then anytime somebody clicks on that link, you get money in a revenue account on Google, and then it's every so often in a month or two you can take that money out, and whenever you want, really, depending on how much money it is. And there are people that are making full-time livings doing that sort of thing. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. And as you build this following and as you build this mission, depending on what it is and where you want to take it, that is a viable thing that you can do. And always with advertising and marketing, I just recommend that you keep it relevant, you keep it classy, and I don't have any question that you would do that, just because I can tell by the way you operate. I think you run a good show here. So another thing that you could potentially monetize with your site is, I see you have references to music, books, art, that sort of thing. And Amazon has a referral system where if you're offering, here's a song about pigs, click this link. The song might be 99 cents, but then you'll get 25% of that. And, over time that can add up for sure. The restaurants, you can do the Google AdWord linkings, the links and different things like that. Whatever that may be, if you're sending your visitors to another website, there is money to be had in doing that. There's always different questions that come into mind, like integrity and things like that. But that's up to you as far as who you want to promote, and you always have that choice if you don't want to promote certain companies. If you want to choose what companies you promote, if that's important to you, you have control over that, depending on what you choose to promote and so on. So there's a lot of ways you can monetize that. I know you have a YouTube channel. I don't know what you enjoy doing the most. Do you like making videos? Do you like writing blog content? Do you like organizing events? I always recommend my clients and customers to play to their strengths. Focus most on doing what you're good at. When you do that and you align with your strengths and your passions that way, you just have more power and you have more skills and more passion there to get things done. So think about that. Where do you want to spend your most time in regards to building this movement and to building this up to be something more than it is now? And then focus on that, and then bring other people around you, to volunteer and to do different things, and to bring people around you that are good at what they do. If your strength is not web development, you can bring in a web developer to do some of the things that you need to plug in your Google AdWords or your Amazon affiliate product thing setup. So think about that and the different ways that you can monetize. YouTube's a great way to monetize. I see you have a lot of views on this video. I don't exactly know where they come from, but that's something you want to think about. If you're getting a lot of traffic on your videos here, you could probably start monetizing them the same way. You see there's an ad here. I don't know if that's yours. Maybe you've turned on ads. Maybe you've tried it. But this may just be a standard Google ad that's here just because it's here. So, these are all things for you to consider and ways that you can break even or even make an income if this is something you want to use to support you. Maybe you like your job, maybe you like what you're doing, and this is just something you do on the side. But I think it's important to get closer to your why. What is it that you really want to do? What is it you really want to see happen in the world? What is it you really want to do in the world? It's easy, or sometimes it's scary to look back and say, wow, this amount of years has gone by, and maybe I'm not quite where I want to be, or maybe I thought I'd accomplished this and that by now, but I haven't. What is that for you? What is it that you really want to accomplish, and what is it that you're going to regret not doing? You take some risks, and you step up to the challenge, and it's always a little bit tough doing it, but in the end, at least in my experience, I've almost always been glad that I've stood up to something or stood up for something, and just got up there and done it, as opposed to maybe taking a step back. So think about your focus. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you really want to bring focus to the site? And on your homepage here, just as an aside, as far as what you can do with your website, more specifically, when we come to your homepage, I'm greeted with a blog. There's some featured articles. That's fantastic. I would use this space here. I would move this blog roll down, and then I would use this space as prime real estate to talk about your mission, your method, or what people can expect to do. And also, there's something we call in marketing as a call to action. Explain to people what they should do next to get the most value out of your site. You may not want to ask somebody for a donation right away, if you're doing donations or something like that. That typically comes later, after they've enjoyed your articles, after they've consumed some of your content, things like that. If you begin to get the idea of how to slowly bring in the concept of money, donations, sales, you want to ease that in, but most importantly, provide value and entertainment first, and then you have the opportunity to ask them for reciprocation. So there's a few great things like that you can bring into this, and it can, I think, really give this thing some orientation and some direction. I think you have something great, and you have a lot of opportunity here, and really, the power's in your hands. And if you had a magic wand, what would you do? What would you, how would you make it? And what would you do if you couldn't fail with it? What's the big dream for the site? And I would encourage you to boldly go after that, in all the ways that you can. So that's going to wrap it up for this one. If you have questions, I'd love to hear back from you. If you want to talk more about it, I am available. So go ahead and send me a message, and we'll go from there. Thanks, and best of luck to you. Bye-bye.